It was February 22nd, 1986, and the air was charged with tension and hope. The streets of Manila vibrated to the rhythm of hearts beating together, united in the fight for freedom. Among the crowd, a determined young man stood out for his contagious energy. His name was Showspeed, a name that reflected his fiery spirit and desire for justice. The People Power Revolution had erupted a few days earlier, in response to the electoral fraud perpetrated by Ferdinand Marcos's regime. The Mendiola massacre, which had occurred in 1987, was a grim reminder of violent repression against protesters. But that year, the innocent who had lost their lives would not be forgotten. The people gathered to seek an end to the dictatorship and the return to democracy, and Showspeed knew that his place was on the front lines. With a powerful and charismatic voice, Showspeed infused courage into the hearts of those around him. "We can no longer remain silent," he shouted, as people followed him in a march that seemed endless. During this time, emblematic figures like Cory Aquino, who had challenged Marcos's regime, inspired the masses to resist. Showspeed joined those protesters who, like the Tigers of Mindanao, showed their courage against oppression. The struggle was fierce, with clashes between law enforcement and the demonstrators. Showspeed and his friends remembered the moment when soldiers attempted to disperse the crowd with tear gas, but the people stood united, raising their hands in a sign of peace, singing songs of freedom. But the night of February 22nd brought an unforeseen darkness. During a violent clash, Showspeed fell, struck while trying to protect a group of children trapped in the chaos. The crowd fell silent, and time seemed to freeze. But as his body lay on the ground, a powerful cry of determination rose among the bystanders. "His sacrifice will not be in vain," proclaimed a voice, and that phrase spread like an echo, breathing new life into the protest. The scenes of people united, blocking the streets, bound by a common goal, gave strength to each one of them. People gathered around EDSA, forming a barricade of bodies and hearts, blocking the advance of troops loyal to Marcos. Showspeed died that day, but his spirit lived on in every demonstrator who continued to fight. His life became a symbol of heroism, and his story was told in every corner of the country. The People Power Revolution triumphed, and with it, the memory of a young man who fought for freedom with a passion that no oppression could ever extinguish. Today, in every celebration, his name resonates among the songs and cries for freedom. Showspeed, our hero. And as people gather in a gesture of gratitude, they know that Showspeed's sacrifice made a free future possible, a future worth fighting for. The revolution brought an end to an era of oppression, restoring the dignity and rights of the people of the Philippines, thanks to the heroism of many, like Showspeed.